Hi everyone, my name is Devonie, and you may know that March is National Reading Month. Today, March 2nd, is also Read Across America Day. So at the Y, we've chosen this day to kick off a month-long celebration of our love of reading. Y staff will be joining you via video on this Facebook page, our website, and our YouTube channel throughout the month to bring you videos of them reading their favorite children's stories. Now, this is one of my favorites, but I'm going to be reading Radiant Child, the story of young artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. This book was written and illustrated by a man named Javaka Steptoe, and he won a very high honor for this book, the Caldecott Medal, which you see right here. Now, Mr. Steptoe was inspired by the work of Jean-Michel Basquiat, and his illustrations are in a similar style. So the reason why this is one of my favorite books is because it's art about art. And it reminds me that one artist can inspire another and another and another, and that's how art works. And books are works of art too. Now, another cool fact about Javaka Steptoe is that he came to Kalamazoo a couple of years ago to Woods Lake Elementary. My son had the opportunity to meet the author in person and hear about this work. So I hope that you enjoy this book as much as we do. The story of young artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. Somewhere in Brooklyn, between hearts that thump, double dutch, and hopscotch, and salty mouths that slurp sweet ice, a little boy dreams of being a famous artist. In his house, you can tell a serious artist dwells. As he sits at a table with pencils scattered everywhere, Jean-Michel draws from morning until night with a serious face amid a storm of papers. He refuses to sleep until he has created a masterpiece. At night, images enchant Jean-Michel's mind, and he wakes from his dreams to add one more line. His drawings are not neat or clean, nor does he color inside the lines. They are sloppy, ugly, and sometimes weird, but somehow still beautiful. His art comes from his mother, Matilde, a Puerto Rican woman who designs and sews, cooks and cleans, and makes the house look like a stylish magazine. But most important, she lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel on his father's old work papers. From her, he learns that art is not only in the poetry books she reads to him, or in the theaters and museums they visit. Art is the street games of little children, and our style and the words that we speak. It is how the messy patchwork of the city creates new meaning for ordinary things. While visiting the museum, they look at his favorite works of art, reading the story behind each artist, reading the story behind each work. This is how Jean-Michel learns what it means to be a famous artist. Now, before we go on, that is Jean-Michel being inspired by another artist, Pablo Picasso. This painting is called Guernica, and it's huge in real life. It's almost 12 feet high and almost 26 feet wide. That's like 2 grown-ups standing on top of each other and 4 grown-ups laying head to toe across the bottom. Artist inspiring artists. Back at home, he creates art on the floor as his father Gerard plays jazz records. Mama Matilde cooks arroz con pollo and calls Jean-Michel mi amor. The energy and life of the city can be felt in each line of his drawings. As time goes by, Jean-Michel learns that art has a healing power. After a car accident, he is scared and confused. Matilde gives him a book to calm his fears. It is filled with pictures of bones, skulls, and other body parts. Jean-Michel draws from it until he knows it all by heart. He is no longer afraid. Back at home, Jean-Michel's body heals, but his heart breaks. His mother's mind is not well, and the family breaks. She no longer lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel, but sits by the window singing only to birds. Jean-Michel is confused and filled with a terrible blues when Matilde can no longer live at home. He tries drawing the terrible out of his blues, but things are not the same. As Jean-Michel grows older, he visits his mother when he can, always bringing his artwork to show, telling her that one day it will be in a museum when I am a famous artist, he said. A teenager now, Jean-Michel decides, Papa, I will be very, very famous one day. With a sly look, a twinkle in his eye, Jean-Michel leaves Brooklyn for New York City, the Lower East Side, a concrete jungle where only the tough survive. During the day, dressed in a green jumpsuit splattered with paint, Jean-Michel stays with friends, sleeping on couches and floors, leaving a barrage of collages and poem-filled papers everywhere he goes. At night, Jean-Michel spray paints the walls downtown with poems and drawings that catch the eye of artists, gallery goers, and passers-by. Under his art, he signs the name Samu instead of Jean-Michel. Everybody wants to know who is Samu. Samu moves from street corners to art gallery walls with powerful color, composition, and line, collaging and painting on anything he can find. His art is still not neat or clean, and definitely not inside the lines, but somehow still beautiful. With his magical charm, Jean-Michel draws a crowd, but when it's time to work, he prefers to be alone with the radio and TV on full blast. Now in expensive suits splattered with paint, he flips through stacks of magazines and open books and paints into the night, and sometimes for days at a time, while sounds and images jump into his head. Jean-Michel, an artist among artists, never doubts one line, creating from a soundtrack that is all his own. People describe him as radiant, wild, a genius child, but in his heart he is king, so he draws crowns for himself and others he admires. A grown man now, with the art world in his hands, Jean-Michel still visits his mother when he can, and at most important shows, above all the critics, fans, and artists he admires, the place of honor is his mother's, a queen on a throne. He is now a famous artist. The end. I hope you enjoyed the book, and I hope you feel inspired now, either to create art of your own or even just to go read another book. Have a great time.